So let me just begin by saying that I have had a problem with food all my life. From the time I was 3 years old, I was climbing up to the top of the refrigerator with a bench, with a chair, with pillows to get to the food. I would have done anything to get to the food. Anything. I was motivated by food in all aspects of my life. When I had any kind of emotional or challenge or thought, I went to the food. So my practice and my talks really come out of my own personal experience. When I was in my 20s, it got very bad for me, and I got very, very depressed. And I thought either I let it all go or I do something about this. And at that point, it wasn't really about my weight. It was really about me having more happiness in my life and a greater sense of control and of confidence. So what I did is I got some helps, and I proceeded to work over my life. I became a psychologist, and I began to slowly lose weight. Now, this wasn't an easy thing, and as I was learning to do it, I also began to learn and remember the tools I used. And as the weight started to come off, I also began to help people as well. And those people became my beginning clients, and I started to give talks. Now, my talks that I give are very much aligned with my own personal philosophy. And I do this because it's worked for me, so I hope it can work for other people. This philosophy is based on compassion, acceptance, and understanding of oneself. And from there, and from looking at our feelings and our thoughts from that compassionate place, we can make new choices that don't involve going to food. These are choices that are creative, that are new, that are inspired, that come out of a place of acceptance and appreciation of ourselves. And we can start to make those choices that are healthy and supportive of that new feeling that we have in ourselves. And that is the essence of what I try and bring to corporations, to meeting events, to planners, to anybody who will listen, is that compassion is the key. My talks are for really any type of worker. It's for a sedentary type of person at the desk who's bored, because boredom is a huge, huge reason why we go and eat. And they're also for the person who's running around all day and can't have time to eat, because there's that also issue that happens as well. It can be adjusted for times and for healths and ages. And most importantly, I can reach out to the men. I can give my talks in a way that reach across gender so that all people can understand what it's like to have this and also what they can do to change their habits. I'm prepared to give a keynote address, to give breakout sessions, to give workshops. I have a PowerPoint. I have a workbook. I've written a book about self-esteem. I have a website. And I also have an entertaining, informative, motivational speech. Because it's one thing to just stand up here and talk, and it's another thing to get those people out there and doing it. And I don't just mean doing it for a day or for the next 5 minutes. Oh, let me go on the next great diet. I'm talking about a lifetime change. My program may not be the fast answer to losing weight, but it's the permanent answer to losing weight. Let me tell you a little bit more about what I speak about, and since I have this board here and this amazing blue pen, I will just great. Where do I put the E? Shape. S, I guess, is the biggest, because that's the most important point I talk about, support. Where are we getting our support? Who are we getting it from? Are we getting it from people who really understand our souls and why we go to the food? Are we getting it from people who just throw out another diet plan, or have you tried this great approach? what kind of support are you getting, and are you getting support? That's why I'm up here for the employees, for the people, because I'm maybe the first person who might really understand what it's like to want to climb up to the top of a refrigerator and get some bread. H is for honesty. Honesty is the absolute fundamental for making the change. I stood up here and I said I want to eat all those bagels. That's because I do. And if I can't be honest about that, then there is no basis for the change, and there's no basis for what I want to talk about. And there's no basis for any of the other remarkable gifts that come from that. Acceptance is about accepting not just who we are in a complacent way, but who we are as people, as humans, as the people that we are in our lives, and being okay with that. And being okay with the fact that sometimes we do things that are hurtful to ourselves and to our others, and we don't like it. And so what are we going to do about it? From acceptance, change comes. Usually people think it comes from judgment, and gosh, if I could just do this, and if I'm only good enough, and blah, 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 and let me get my little whip. But that, if it had worked, would have worked all those other times I did it, and it didn't work. So acceptance is about really understanding with compassion who we are and how we can make a difference in our lives. P is perseverance, and it's looking at our perfectionism. Perfectionism is such a stumbling block to losing weight. It is how we completely run out there in the new program, make one little error, and we say, whatever, I don't care, doesn't matter anymore. Perfectionism is okay because it's part of us, but it's also hurtful. And so how can we let that go just a little bit, enough to let ourselves be okay with who we are as a human being and get back on track again? It's just getting back on, that's it. That's the only thing that I could ever have done right in all of my years of losing weight, is just trying again, just doing it again. It's a simple little step. And finally, E is engagement. Engaging in our lives, taking action. And this is where I really help people to move forward and to go for it and to take the steps and the actions that they need to get involved in their lives and get involved in what is important to them, reaching for their goals. So that's what I wanted to share a little bit about. And do I have time to go over, just to mention a little bit? 1 minute? Okay. I just want to mention that Tim was absolutely instrumental in helping me to formulate myself as a speaker, to get myself marketed in a way that was approachable to organizations, as well as making my talks a little bit more entertaining. And that was by showing up every week in his class and getting up in front of people and doing a comedy sketch or riffing. And I actually have a YouTube out with me doing comedy, and this is somebody who never even thought I was funny. So if somebody who never even wanted to be a comedian could go out there and be a little bit more entertaining, add that to my talks, get my message clearer for myself and for the audience members, and really move forward in myself as a speaker, Tim has been absolutely helpful in that as my mentor, and I'm absolutely appreciative of the Mentor-Mentee program, and I thank you so much for having it, and thank you for letting me speak today.